It's great to have you, Hisham. We're looking forward to this.
I'm uh, I'm glad to be here.
Don't worry, don't be nervous. Everything will be okay. We also learn every episode. So Jeff and I are doing this for quite well, how many episodes we have, Jeff? This is the 19th or 20th, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know the count. I lost track, but it's been several months, and I think things are going really well. We have not had a single bad podcast, so
That's
Yes.
that's cool.
okay, got it. All right, so
But
uh, I think it's there. Yep, it's posted, so people can follow us now.
Yes. Okay, see it. Mm-hmm.
We're going to do some quick introductions for the sake of the audience. My name is Jeff, and I am an alcoholic addict and codependent in recovery. I am here with my co-host, Selena Breeze, who is in Belgium, and she is a trauma specialist. And our special guest this week, a friend of mine, a person who allowed me to sponsor him through the steps about 2 years ago. And he's a little bit educated on Islam. And the topic today is the 12 steps in Islam. And we have Hishaam Merkel. And Hishaam, I've forgotten, where do you live? What country are you in?
I'm in South Africa. I live in Lenasia. We moved here recently, about 2 months ago, and yeah, enjoying it. It's a bit hot, but we get through it. It's summer now, so yeah,
Great. So
enjoying it.
you got nice weather. That's important.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Now, based on the topic, I wanted to cover a few basics that I know about Islam and just have you confirm that, make sure that the audience is clear, because a lot of our viewers are not Muslim and we want to give them a little background. First, I want to point out that the word Allah is the Arabic word for God.
Yes, that's right.
And it's the same God of the Bible. And that generally speaking, all the prophets of the Bible were considered Muslim because they also submitted to God.
That's right.
Okay, and so Christianity and Islam actually, in principle, have a lot of commonality. They're two of the closest religions based on the principles. The practices are very different. And I have practiced Islam, and I'd like to get back to practicing Islam. I'm afraid I've been lazy. But one of the beautiful things about Islam is this practice of wudu and salat, which is basically prayer and meditation. It's preparation and then the ritual of prayer. And this is something that's done 5 times a day at very specific times based on the lunar cycle. And I can say from experience that when you practice prayer and meditation 5 times a day, you cannot help but become closer to a higher power. So
That's right.
now you were kind enough. When I gave you the topic, you put some effort into it and came up with actual comparisons between the 12 steps and teachings of Islam. So would you be willing to share that with us?
Yes, I would. I'll start with the first step, which is we admitted that we were powerless over narcotics and alcohol and that our lives had become unmanageable. So with that powerlessness, the Islamic concept is tawakkul, and that is a complete reliance on Allah Ta'ala and acknowledging that acknowledging our human limitations. Right, so that's the first step, admitting that you have the problem and that you are powerless, and that we place our reliance on Allah Ta'ala to help us.
Great, you're doing
Right.
perfect.
Okay. Now we go to the second step, is that we came to believe that the power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity. The concept is hope and faith. We call that iman, and that is trusting in Allah Ta'ala's mercy, having complete faith and surrendering to Him. Right. The third step is that we made a decision, a conscious decision, to turn our lives over to the care of Allah, or the God as we understood Him. Um, so, which is, I'm just going through my notes. So that is surrendering to Allah Ta'ala, complete surrender, submitting to Allah Ta'ala as well, and that is called taslim. So there's a verse in the Quran that says, say we have believed in Allah and what has been revealed to us. Okay, and then going over to the fourth step is that we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves, right? And then that is called muhasabah. That is to account, self-accounting and introspection. The verse is, and take account of yourselves before you are taken to account. That's taken from chapter 18, verse 35 of the Quran. Okay, step 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs, which is admission. Istighfar. Istighfar means to seek forgiveness from Allah and also to confess our sins. The Quranic verse is that, and seek forgiveness from Allah Ta'ala. Indeed, Allah Ta'ala is most forgiving and merciful. Right, so now we come to the sixth step. Uh, sorry, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character, and then which is now self-improvement. The Islamic concept is tazkiyah. It's purification of the soul. Um, the verse is, and purify your souls and strive to obey Allah. Right. 7, we humbly asked Allah Ta'ala to remove all our shortcomings. Um, it was, and that by becoming humble, humility, right? So the Islamic concept is khushu, which is complete devotion to Allah Ta'ala and having humility and recognizing Allah Ta'ala's greatness in helping us with whatever we need to be helped with. So the verse there is, and walk upon the earth in humility. It's taken from chapter 31, verse 18, right? Step 8, that was we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Okay, so step 8 was to make amends. Islamic concept is kafara. It's called kafara. That is now expiation and restitution. The verse there is, we made amends to whom we have wronged, right? Step 9, we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except to do so would injure them, right? So direct amends, the Islamic concept is musalaha, right? That is reconciliation and resolving conflicts, right? The Quranic verse is, and reconciliation is better, right? Step 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, we promptly admitted it, right? Step 10 is continued growth. The Islamic concept is ihsan, which is spiritual excellence. So you grow spiritually, and we continue with self-improvement, right? So the verse is, and strive to excel in good deeds. That is chapter 5, verse 2 of the Quran. Then step 11, we saw through prayer and meditation, that salah and meditation, like you say, Jeff, right? With God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Okay, so the Islamic concept, which is salah and dhikr. Dhikr means the remembrance of Allah. So while meditating, you like say La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah few times, and that means there's no God worthy of worship, only Allah, right? So we come to step 12 now, which are like we are having a spiritual awakening as the result of all the steps, and we try to carry this message to addicts and alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. So step 12, service and sharing. The Islamic concept of that is dawah. So dawah is inviting others towards Islam and community service. The Quranic verse is, and cooperate in righteousness and piety. That is verse 5. Um, I'm sorry, chapter 5, verse 2. There's also other principles that supports the 12 steps, right? It is tawbah, which is repentance, and then sabr, which is patience. So we got to be patient throughout our recovery, have patience throughout our recovery. And then the shukr, which means gratitude to Allah Ta'ala for all that He's given us, for taking us out of dark places and all of that. And now all of this, we have to practice all of this with sincerity, right? And that's the way we will get Allah Ta'ala's help. And then taqwa meaning piety. Well, Jeff, we're not all perfect, so we all do the best we can. We follow the 5 pillars, we make our salah, we give alms, we humble in whatever we do. So yeah, that sums it up. That's basically it. The similarities between the 12 steps and Islam.
That's great. And before I turn this over to Selena, so it's my belief that the 12 steps were not invented, they were discovered, that they've always been there.
They've
And that's
always
why,
been there, right? That's true.
yeah, and that's why there's so many different ways to word them. So Christianity has wording for them, Islam has wording for them. There's several different variations of the 12 steps. And now Selena has a completely different process that achieves the same types of things. And she has 4 steps, but they're more elaborate than the 12 steps. So can you describe that for us, Selena, please?
My 4 steps of recovery, or I call it 4 steps, to transformation, but it's just, it's very similar. So, I heard meditation, surrendering, acceptance, humility. It's the same content. It's the same. Maybe the process is a little bit different, but the goal is the same. In my 4 steps, it's under each step is there is always a workshop. There's always a little bit of hard work in order to, because we are doing a rapid transformational therapy. So like healing the inner child, um to do it in a shorter period of time, but it doesn't mean that after the 4 steps transformation is definitive. It's still a lifetime process. So that's why I've learned to be open to anything. So I do respect all kinds of religion. Thank you for sharing, Hashem, because I've heard, I learned a lot, and now it's just to realize that we may have different words, different steps, but we only have one goal: to live the life that we believe we deserve, to serve, to help other people, and to be the best version of ourselves. That is what is it all about. And my 4 steps are: first is acknowledge. So it's so similar: surrender, accept that there is something that we need to change. And then acknowledging is also under acknowledgement, we have to work on ourselves. It's not that, okay, I acknowledge that there is something to be changed. We have to work on it. We have to remind ourselves every day. So it includes humility. Like, the ego, we have to set aside because we cannot acknowledge that there is something that we need to change if we have to let the ego work. Okay, as I call it, the ego is the autopilot. When we are not aware, the ego is there. It's to take charge. So I have to make it short. So first is acknowledgement, and then the next thing is understanding. Understanding why you have the experience. For example, why you have this kind of behavior, why you are an addict. Understand what are the root cause. So under understanding, we have to work on it. My tools, most meditation, hypnotherapy. So I think I believe it's also similar with Islam. Meditation, like just words are so powerful. We have to install new beliefs in our subconscious mind and believing the higher power. It doesn't matter what you call it, Allah, God. It's all the same as long as we believe that there is a higher power, more powerful than us.
Yes.
Yes. And then the third step is acceptance. You understand why things are happening, why people are acting the way they do, why they are irritating us. We think they are irritating us, but if we look within, it could be that there is something in us. Why? The deep reason why we are being irritated. So that is understanding, and that is also a whole process. And I have also tools on that, like earthing, reconnecting to earth, like walking on grass barefoot and submerging your feet in the water. I call it like reconnecting to the source. So I believe water is really powerful to cleanse everything, not only the physical dirt, but to feel the water. It's really, there is healing in water. So that is one of the tools, but there are many tools, of course. It depends what makes the person comfortable of doing. And the last step is letting go. So we acknowledge, we understand, we accept, and then we let go. Let go of everything that doesn't serve us, our purpose. Because I do believe that we all have the purpose why you are here. Even this very moment, why are we here? Because we need to deliver something. And it is really, it is very important to emphasize that, Jeff has also, we have different stories, maybe. We have different backgrounds, different kinds of trauma, but look at us. Where are we now? We are here. And Hisham, you are a devoted as Muslim, and I have a lot of respect. I don't know much about Islam, but I do respect. I have few Muslim friends and they are amazing. And they are so warm-hearted people. And we all connect in the same level of understanding when it comes to recovery, when it comes to acknowledging that we all have the same, we all have um what we call that, what we've been through. I don't know your story, but I know that you have a very interesting story why you're here, why you're in recovery. I heard a
Yeah.
little bit from Jeff, but I want to know more, because just looking at you, you're very inspiring. You know, I feel the energy. You
Thank
accept,
you. Yeah.
yeah, because you're here, we all have our past, our negative experiences. Jeff knows that, my story also. And we are here to bring up this message and to deliver to the world. So my 4 steps is very similar. Nothing, no difference. We all have the same
Mhm.
goal. So Jeff,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's a condensed version of the exact same thing, and you're right. It achieves the same type of thing. And really, if you take away all the uh, masking, it comes down to reaching a certain type of energy, becoming more peaceful. And that's why I want to point out to those viewers who don't believe in God, that doesn't mean these steps can't work for you. The idea is that we have to have a sense of a higher power, and it can be your higher self. And the higher self is always peaceful, it's always healthy, it always makes good decisions, it's humble, it's honest. And if you can be humble and honest and connect with your conscience, which is always guiding you, you're doing the same thing that we who believe in God are doing when we pray and meditate. We're connecting to our source of guidance. It's just different wording for it. It doesn't make us any different at all just because you have a different description for it. And another similarity I wanted to point out is you talked about the cleansing power of water, and that's very much part of Islam. It's the 5 times a day prayer begins with a ritual of cleansing, where
Well, it's Tahara. Tahara. It's called
mhm.
Tahara.
okay, and so I mean that prepares you for prayer, right? It like gets you in the
Yeah,
right
we
mindset.
do. Yes. It's a ritual to cleanse yourself so that you're fully prepared for Salah, all the bad thoughts and all that.
Yeah, everything is connected. We can link, if we are open to anything, we can link that things are all connected and there is no contradiction. It's just the ego that contradicts.
Right.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And
Ego
Hisham,
blinds.
if you don't mind, I'm very I was listening to your translation, to your of the 12 steps, but if you have it on paper, um
Yeah,
would you like to share it to
I
me?
would, I would, I would do
It's
that.
very interesting. I want to know more. I want to learn more um about Islam, the link, because
Um,
I've heard that it's all the same. It's just another word. It's like God and Allah and whatever it is we call our higher power, it's all the same. And people should understand that. There should no argument about religion. There should no debate of what is the right religion, because if we come down with humility,
yes, and an
every
open mind.
yeah, exactly. Very important. And that if everybody can adopt this kind of principle, this kind of belief, what a beautiful world we have, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's right.
I'd like to give some of the backstory on how Hisham and I first met, and the experience we had together. I was in some recovery group. I'm not sure if I'm even there anymore, but Hisham had posted, he was struggling, and I said something to him, that actually hurt his feelings.
Yes.
It hit
Me
home
too.
with him. And it's like I kind
Father.
of like called him out on something, and it hurt his feelings, and he let me know. And it's at that point that I could tell he was ready. He was genuinely ready to begin recovery because he had hurt enough. And then I just pointed out, bang, right here. And I forget what I said, what I pointed out, but I hit one of his hot buttons, one of his character defects. And then somehow he decided that I was safe for him, and we started talking. And he was great about getting through the steps. He was so ready and committed because he wanted change. He was ready for change. He didn't want to be trapped in addiction anymore. And it was because he was experiencing all kinds of losses. And unfortunately for addicts, that's normally when we become ready, is when the pain is so great we feel like we're trapped and we have no other choice but to try something new. So why don't you give me your interpretation of, your experience with me?
Uh, at first, I thought, who is this guy? Why is he telling me? Why is he calling me out on all of these things? Because when I first got into that group, it's true what you had said. I was looking, for a way out, for attention, for someone to speak to me, and it just happened. And the way I see it, we as Muslims, we believe that no two people meet but with the permission of Allah Ta'ala. And it was there, and you helped me through it, and I started practicing the steps, and I thought that this is for me, and I can do this. And I was inspired by you, Jeff. And well, here I am now, and clean. So Alhamdulillah, all praise to God. Very
It's very
grateful.
interesting. Very interesting. You see, um, when the right time comes, we see it, we know it. Even it's the same with us, Jeff. We started really also, we had a misunderstanding of ideas. And that's why on my 4 steps, understanding is really very important. Along my RTT journey, my rapid transformational therapy journey, I've learned that understanding is power. Because sometimes we react right away without even using the fraction, this very small fraction of time and space to think and to analyze, and we take it personally. And we think, oh, he hurt my feelings. Who he thinks he is.
That's
That's,
right.
yeah, exactly. And that happens not only with us, it happens
Mm.
to everybody. And we don't really use the time and space to think and
Can we
maybe
also say like that is also the ego, you know?
the ego. Yeah, that is it.
Well, and that's one of my specialties, is taking other people's inventory. I can,
Yes,
and I did it to both of you. And at the same time, I know when I'm taking someone else's inventory, I'm also
taking your
taking my inventory.
yeah,
Everything that I accuse you of is something that I do. And there's no
yeah,
exception to it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I agree
exactly.
with it.
And also with the interactions with those people who are really blinded with the ego, like who he thinks he is, why is he telling me this and that? There is no
Yeah,
chance that there will be a healthy conversation that comes up, because Jeff
ego.
hurt my feelings as well because he was really attacking me everywhere, right? But there was deep inside, I will believe that there is something in this person, there is something. And that's why I sent you a very long message. And it was like, take it or leave it. Whatever, if you will
Yeah.
be angry and it's end, but I've said what I have to say, and you said what you have to say, and then we came to at the middle point and talk about things.
Yeah,
Look, I think, Jeff, okay, what I was going to say is that I don't think it works for everyone, because I tried the same approach. I tried the same approach from with a brother from Afghanistan or something like that. I can't remember, and he's from Afghanistan, but he's living in the UK. And I tried the same approach, thinking that it might work for that person, but it didn't, and we just continuously clashed. Um, we friends now. We don't talk much, but yeah. So I don't know how it's going with him, because he hasn't approached me and all of that since that time. I think it's been like a few months now. So I'm hoping for the best when it comes to that, brother. And yeah. So what I'm basically trying to say is that not everything will work for everyone.
true.
Exactly. Yes.
No, well, and it depends on what state of grieving they're in, and that's what my book is really all about, is becoming aware that there's going to be times when people
Absolutely.
are able to listen to you, and times they're not. And if they're deeply in denial, they're not ready to hear anything.
Yeah,
But
true.
if they're in the surrender stage and you hit them with some big truth, chances are it's going to make them cry, and that's really to their benefit. If you can make somebody cry, you are helping them release trauma and reach acceptance. And I know it seems kind of cruel and unnecessary, but it actually is necessary. Until we learn to let go of the control we have over our feelings, we aren't ready to receive anything new, because we're trapped in that obsessive state where you're just making excuses for your behavior, you know. So, and you're right, it doesn't work for everybody. And I try different approaches, and I have lots of failures. I scare away more people than I help. But
Yeah.
thankfully, the people that I do help, it really has deep meaning for me. And so that's why I keep doing it. And I keep working on my approach and keep trying to be safer for people. And one of the things I think made me safe for you is once we got to actually talking, I have some experience with Islam, and I did not try to convert you. I spoke to Islam. I, I spoke your language about healing instead of trying to convert you to something.
Yes, and that's what I actually love about us, is that you reminded me about Islam, and and then I started going back to Islam, and it has helped me. So I mean, coming from a person like in very far away from me, so I truly believe that anything is possible if you put your mind to it, if you actually devoted and put in the effort and work towards what you need. And the outcome is awesome and positive.
Right. And again, that's I refer to Selena, and the treatments that she gave me. So I personally believe the 12 steps work on everything, but that doesn't mean I still needed extra help, because I need a different perspective. I need different approaches.
Yeah.
And so I, you know, became humble. I asked her for help. She was kind enough to give me the help. And the only reason it worked is because I was ready for it. I was ready to apply it
Yeah.
and continue to apply it over and over and over without question, and just have faith that it was going to work, instead of going, this isn't working, and give up. Because
Really.
you have to have patience with these things. You
Yeah.
can't go into it. I tried it. There's no trying. You have to
You just
change your
do it.
life.
Yeah.
Just gotta do it.
Yes, we really have to create the new neural pathways, because in our subconscious there are programs that are automatically running. So we have to, repetition, that is power. When we meditate, we also repeat and repeat and repeat. Words are very powerful. When thoughts and words, when we think of something, we see pictures of what we think. And if we express it, and when we express it in words, it will become the program. And by repeating and repeating, we automatically delete those old limiting beliefs, because we cannot install new beliefs without deleting the old ones. It's like, just consider like a computer. Our brain is like a computer. When it is full of negativities, we cannot put positive thoughts in it. So the purpose of meditation, I'm not talking about my hypnotherapy, there are whatever kind of tools we are using, it works if we let it work.
Right.
But very important
Got
is
it.
the repetition.
An open mind.
And just like visualization. Those people who don't meditate, they say, okay, I visualize. When they visualize, they did not realize that they are meditating. Because when we really like something, even if when we are driving, we think of something, and that's unconscious. We drive for 30 minutes, we think constantly about the thing. That is already a meditation without putting a label in it.
Mm.
Yeah, and that is because we give emphasis to the thoughts. Our mind, how many thoughts we have every day, average, they say 20 million thoughts.
Hmm.
And only 10% of the thought, or maybe less, is conscious. The rest is unconscious. So that's why awareness is very powerful.
Self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and it's Hisham can probably confirm for me, when I start to have thoughts that are disturbing to me, one of my go-tos is chanting. Sometimes it'll be Serenity Prayer, sometimes it'll be Fatima. It's I start running these familiar phrases through my mind over and over, and it pushes away the negative thoughts. And it's a conscious choice I'm making, because I know if I keep thinking about this, I'm going to get upset, I'm going to make myself sick, and it's not going to help anything. I'm just going to build a resentment. So do you ever find yourself doing that?
Uh, Constantly. When I get a negative thought, and then sometimes I dwell, which is normal, we're human. But then I become aware and realize that, and that is where dhikr comes in. Remember, I was talking about remembrance of Allah.
Hmm.
When you chant like La ilaha illallah, astaghfirullah, which means Allah, please forgive me. Subhanallah, uh, all glory to God, stuff like that, that takes your mind off the negativity. And then you just you push on again. And then whatever it is you needed to deal with, you can deal with it in a better frame of mind. And that works for me.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
And again, I hope to return to practicing Islam. I've got a bit of a mental block, but I often will interchange Serenity Prayer and then start saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim,
MashaAllah.
and
Yeah. Allah
it
Ta'ala
helps.
will make it easy, Jeff. He'll make it easy. Allah Ta'ala is peace, we are peace, as you say.
Right. And that's another point I wanted to make. A lot of people have a lot of negative opinion of religion, and I want to support people of religious beliefs, people of any religious beliefs, really, provided they understand what it is that the goal is. And if you've seen the negative, I mean, a lot of negative things do come out of religion, lots of wars, lots of conflicts, lots of anger and disparity. But those are not the people that understand their beliefs. Those are
That's
those
true.
those are the
That's
people
very
who are
true.
still struggling with ego that happen to be this religion. The people that truly understand the religion are peaceful and they get along.
Yeah. When we drop the ego, we start seeing again, because I believe that ego
Yeah.
blinds us to the truth.
That's really
Yeah.
true. That's the number one blockage, the ego.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or as you refer to it as the monkey mind.
The
Yeah,
monkey man.
yeah.
Good one.
You can label it whatever you label it. Yeah, that I consider it like a monkey because my monkey is a tease. Just like, okay, monkey, sit down and shut up. Let me handle this.
Yeah.
It works. It works.
Yeah. I should try that sometimes, because the ego pops up every now and then.
It
So we gotta be aware. Self-awareness.
Yeah, it works. Even you can apply it in any situation. Like when I have to set my alarm and then okay, just 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. And then I realized, okay, I have already 5 minutes. And I said, okay, monkey, shut up. I have to get up. Let me
Yeah.
handle this. 1, 2, 3. Mel Rubens, I think, she has this 5-second rule. When you need to do something and your monkey is telling you, oh, just wait, just relax and do it later, do it tomorrow. And if you remember the 5-second rule, you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna do it now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get up and take action, and you're doing it. And it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I give into ego more than is healthy for me, because I'm of that mindset. If I'm in bed and then I start, I'm scheduled to get up at a certain time, I'll start doing that. Oh, just 10 more minutes, just 15 more minutes. And then I fall back to sleep and I'm asleep for an hour or two and I get up and I get to work 2 hours late. And I'm self-employed, so I can get away with that. But it takes away from the fullness of my life when I do that. I spend way more time sleeping than I really need to. It's become another addiction of mine. So
Yeah. Here it is. Acknowledgement and then understanding.
Yeah.
And then accepting that it has to be changed. It sounds easy though, but try to apply the 5-second rule. Well, I have to admit, I don't apply the 5-second rule all the time. Then I am perfectly transformed. I'm just human. I cheat. I cheat. It's
Yes, we
part of being
perfectly
human.
imperfect.
Yeah, of course.
Perfectly imperfect.
But every
Yeah.
time I remember it and I really commit to do it and apply it, it really works. I remember when they say, okay, if someone is suicidal, ready to take off, if that person has that one person who will remind him of just, when a person is suicidal, no hope at all to live. And there are many reasons why you want to end everything. But if one person can let him realize, just find one reason why he has to live and continue life, that's enough. That's enough. Even if that person is at the edge of doing it, one
yeah,
one person, one advice is enough.
right. And we spoke about this. I deal with a number of people that are chronically depressed because they're hitting bottom. And when
Yeah.
you're chronically depressed, the only thing you're thinking about is the problems. You are problem minded. And when you're problem minded, you create more problems because you're not, working on solutions. You're wallowing in the hurt. And we can become addicted to depression. I know I absolutely am. I've been addicted to my own anger and my own depression and start to find comfort there instead of having the ambition to move out of it. And so I had to find those things that gave meaning to my life that would allow me to leave depression behind, to get to a point where it's like, okay, I've had enough of that. Now I'm going to do something that's important to me. And for me, it's this. For me, it's doing some type of service work. When I'm doing service work, I feel much better about myself. So that's why I keep doing it. I'm not doing it for the ratings. I'm not doing it because there's some, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I'm doing this because it's part of my spiritual maintenance. Now, Hishaam, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm kind of curious to ask, this whole time that we've known each other, have you been able to maintain your sobriety?
Yeah, for sure, Jeff. It became difficult at times, but I've uh, I've managed. I've managed to get through it. The help
Right.
of my family.
And so now you've moved somewhere new. You got your family back together. Uh,
Yeah, for sure.
you're you're gainfully employed.
Yep. Self-employed. I
Great.
like yourself.
Right.
Just carrying on,
Right. You're in
carrying on.
construction, right?
Yeah, construction, pool maintenance, like I said, ceilings, drywalling, door fitment, tiling, construction.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So basically, all the promises of recovery came true for you.
Yes, that's right, Jeff.
That's great. That's very good news. And we haven't spoken in some time, so I wasn't sure what your
Yes,
progress was.
the key with that, sometimes you stop practicing the steps. And that's when you start going back and start thinking of, ah, you know, just one hit of a joint. That will be awesome right now. But then you become self-aware and you feel like if you actually do this, you're gonna throw away all that you've worked so hard for. Coming out of that dark place. And that's what motivates me to stay clean. And obviously your family is proud of you. Positive things come out of working on your recovery.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Well, and I think a lot of breaking an addiction, it's almost like when I was a kid, I had to find out the hard way that you burn your hand when you put it in the fire.
Yes, that's right.
And I had to do that a few times. I didn't learn the first time. It took
I've
me a
had
number of
to
times.
many times, Jeff, many times.
So eventually, once you hurt yourself enough, you realize you don't want to go back to it. And when you start to play the tape that says, maybe I could go back and do that one more time, then your sane self kicks in and goes, yeah, but remember how this ends. Remember,
Yes,
you're going to lose your family, you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your ambition, you're going to, start
lose
experiencing pain.
everything, lose everything, lose alle tale also.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Right, lose peace. That's
everything,
that's something
lose
that's
peace.
like you have to be afraid to lose your peace.
Yeah,
Wow. And that is really very interesting because this is a real manifestation that whatever you work on, you will get the result if you just keep on doing it. Because so many people, they want a different kind of life. They want different things that will happen in their lives, but they are doing the same things over and over again. So this is it it goes back to the thought, like you think about it and you believe that there is this what they call the knowledge action gap. We know what we have to do, but to take that action, there is a gap. So we have to build the bridge in order to really start the process. And yeah, we have to burn our hands. We have to feel the pain in order to realize that, oh, this is not what I want because it hurts. So
That's okay.
we have to find another way. We have to do something else in order not to experience again. Because if you keep putting your hands on fire, you keep burning and burning and burning. And what happens? That's what people are doing. That they don't like it, but they keep on doing it.
Yeah, you called that the knowledge action gap.
Yeah. I
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I know that that term's come up before in the past. And so, another way to interpret that in recovery, we say that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
that is exactly, yes.
So this whole process of recovery, no matter which program you're in, no matter what your approach is, ultimately is giving you self-awareness, and self-awareness gets you closer to a higher power of your understanding, whatever that may be. So once you have that connection and it has meaning for you, you don't really want to lose it again. It's like, well, once I find peace, anything that disturbs my peace, I want to do something about it so I can get back to being peaceful. So, you know,
Yeah. Yes. And anything is possible. Like Hishaam said, anything is possible. And anything. We have the
You
power
gotta
to
put
do
your
that.
mind. You see with that, you have to have complete devotion to what it is that you want to achieve. And if you put your mind to it, I mean, it sounds like it is actually a cliche, but it's it's the right way. You have to put in the work if you want to stay clean, if you want to achieve, you know, results. You gotta put in the work, and that's how stuff becomes possible when you
Yeah.
put in the work.
And
yeah,
humility is very important also.
Humility is key. You
Yeah.
gotta have an open mind. You gotta listen to what others have to say. And that also the ego blinds you from all of that because there was a lot of times where I thought that my way is the correct way, which is wrong. And I'm glad that I've became aware and started seeing that. And yeah, here we are.
right, right. And ego always seeks comfort, but
Yeah,
progress is
Yeah.
not comfortable, you know.
No,
yeah, yeah. That's
growth
right.
is painful. They said
Very
growth is painful.
Yeah, and yet worth
very
it. And there does come a time where you get a break from it. I was living in fear for several years. When I got sick, I couldn't handle my affairs. I couldn't deal with people. I was causing problems all over the place, and I wasn't sure, whether or not I was going to be able to pay my bills or eat. I'm not there anymore. Am
Yeah,
I rich? No, but I'm comfortable. And yet I know if I want to keep this level of comfort, I need to, as you said, remain devoted. I have to
mm,
remain committed to the things that got me here. I can't just go, well, I'm done now and then relax, because that's not what life is for. We're not here to relax. We're here to
No.
grow. And
Yeah.
those who
And things keep changing. The only constant is change, and change
thank-
is always messy in the beginning. But
yeah,
if you keep doing it, you guys are involved in construction, right? You also, Jeff. So you see, when you have to construct something, all the mess are there.
right,
And after that, what do you have? So it's very simple. Example, change is always messy in the beginning. Whatever you want to change, you have to rearrange. You have to do a lot of cutting, and it's just also like gardening. When the garden is not attended, it's full of weeds.
yeah,
And before
that's
you
right. Yeah.
create something beautiful, You have to take all the weeds out and then plant the plants that you want. So it's just nature are giving us really guidance, but we just ignore it, every day around us. Everything is teaching us a lesson. It's just us to have to pay attention.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay, what I was gonna say is that my mom used to tell me that like there's a time and a place for everything. So um I stopped working out and I put myself more into work. But that just it's not working out for me. So there's still some things in my life that I still need to work on, like being devoted also to weight training and health, staying healthy, because I drink a lot of soft drinks, and
Mm,
that can also be an addiction as well. So there's a lot of things that you have to keep on working on. And things are always changing, always changing. So you find something new, and then you become, you can be addicted to anything. So you have to be aware of that as well.
right. And I had this exact discussion with another member in our Facebook group today, explaining how for addicts, the behavior of being addictive, of being compulsive, that's almost impossible to break. I will always be an addict. And for me, the goal is to choose healthier addictions, choose
Yeah.
addictions that are easier to walk away from and have more benefit. Like it's more of a benefit to be addicted to work than it is to be addicted to uh, spending money. Because spending money can absolutely be a horrible addiction. It's healthier for me to be addicted to milk than sodas. Now, I'm not saying it's good to be addicted to milk. I'm saying it's healthier than sodas. So
Yeah,
all I'm
it's the
doing
better
is
one.
replacing one behavior with another behavior that's less harmful. And for
Mhm.
addicts, sometimes that's really the best we can do because we just tend to glob onto things.
Yeah,
Uh,
and obsess. And obsess. That's what we do. We obsess, you know?
Yes, and the key is awareness because our mind
Yeah.
cannot hold two conflicting beliefs, two conflicting thoughts in one time. So if you say, oh, it's not good, I have to change this. Like,
Mm.
yeah, in if you want to drink and you say, oh, it's not healthy. Well, I want to drink water. Drink
Mm.
something, drink soda. Well, it's not healthy, but it's less harmful. Start with
Yeah.
that. That is why it's thing. Because you cannot drink soda and alcohol at the same time. So you have to choose, and that is the beginning. It's a very good
yeah,
example. Yeah.
Very
right,
healthy. Yeah.
right. Well, and around here, we have places that you can go for recovery meetings. And many times you walk into like an AA or an NA meeting, there's going to be donuts, coffee, a whole bunch of other addictions. But
Uh-huh.
those things are saving lives. It's like it's better for you to go have that donut and put on, half a pound than it is for you to go out drinking again. So, it's the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. You have to
Right.
decide if you can take the time to think, oh, what if I have to drink, what does it do to me? That's
Mm.
just asking the simple question, but it is very important.
Mm. You always have a choice.
Yeah,
Mm. God
true.
willing, we make the correct choices.
And
Because
That's why we
sometimes
are
you throw
here
yourself,
to practice
you throw your,
awareness to make, sorry, to
yeah,
make the right
that's right.
choice.
Sometimes you throw yourself into something like with work, and you just work and work and work, and then you don't worry about your health and if you're eating properly and those kind of things. And you know, like I said before, earlier, obsession. So you have to become aware of what it is you're doing. So, and
Right.
then decide, choose, try to make the good choice.
Right, right. And that's another thing that I cover in my book. Uh, Not to be shamelessly self-promoting, but one of the few things that I was offered by psychologists that I found really valuable was this thing called the wellness chart. It's a great reference because you're right.
Yeah.
We tend to obsess. We tend to go from one addiction to another addiction to another
Mhm.
addiction. Well, this wellness chart points out the 8 areas that I need to give attention to. And a lot of times I'll look at it and I'll be like, I'm completely ignoring these 4 things. There's 8 areas. I'm only active in 4 of them. I'm working, I'm eating, I'm sleeping, and so I need to reference these things and get reminders that I have to add balance to my life. If I feel unhappy or like I'm stuck, chances are I'm neglecting one of the areas of wellness.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what's going on with me as well. So, so now I've neglected exercising, and I threw myself like into more work, and then I work so much. Sometimes I don't eat the whole day, and then I only eat at night, which is unhealthy. So you have to have balance. There has to be balance.
Yeah.
You need to set a time for pray. Okay, pray 5 times a day. You need to set the time of when you're gonna work out, when you're gonna spend time with your kids, going out, stuff like that. So you have to have balance.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. True.
Okay, guys. Well, we are coming up on the top of the hour. Do
Mhm.
either of you have any final thoughts, something you want to share for the people who might be listening in?
Um, I just want to say to all the people out there, whoever's listening and all of that, that there is hope. It's tough, it's grueling, and it hurts, but you gotta put in the work if you wanna get clean. You have to put in the work. There's no way around it, and there's no magical cure. I remember once that you know, NA taught us that there's no magical cure. And I went to go and have myself, I don't know what that thing was called, but I've still got that thing in my buttocks, and it was supposed to deter me from cravings and all of that. But it never worked. You have to put in the work. You got to put in the work if you want to stay clean. That's all I want to say. So Allah Ta'ala make it easy for all of us. Yeah, and that's it. All the best.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you, Hishaam.
Amazing.
Selena, any final words?
Well, today is a very interesting topic, so kind of mixed with you know, all kinds of we're not talking about religion, but it's amazing to have Hisham here. We
Thank
learned
you,
a
Sam.
lot from
Glad
you,
to be here.
and all I can say
I've also
is,
learned from you as well, especially the earthing and that.
Hmm.
That is things that I don't actually do. I don't actually take out time. I don't observe what's going on around me. Like looking at the birds and the bees and all of that. And I
yeah,
used to love doing that. So you're right when you say things are constantly changing.
yeah, you have to
So
try it. Try if you feel comfortable, because next year, next summer, I'm going also to offer ice bath. That is something intense. So
yeah,
my
I've
bathtub
seen that.
is ready. So ice bath, but it's really um it's very interesting. I have to share it with you guys also. Earthing, you have to try it. Hisham, as
Hishaam.
feel if you feel comfortable. Sorry if I mispronounce your name,
No,
Hisham.
it's cool.
Yes.
It's cool.
And you
I
can
get it.
you can do it. I do it here at home, walking on the grass like 3 to 5 minutes barefoot in the morning. And that's my way because that's just accessible for me. And once in a while, like 2 times a month in the summer, I find a place where there is running water from the mountains, like, and I go walk from up, from above down, going downstream, and then I hug trees as well because it's like grounding myself, like because trees
I've
are
heard of that.
so grounded, yeah.
It's just I
And
never actually practiced it. But now I'm interested in it because now you've spoken about it and it's like lit a fuse in me.
it
So
feels great. And I also also people who do it, and it's a great feelings, it's not linked with religion, it's just believing, reconnecting to the source. And I believe nature is like very powerful, with healing power, trees, water. So
what
my final word is for us, for everybody. I don't know who needs to hear this.
yeah.
Anything is possible. And if you have time, close your eyes. Um, Ask the question. You can ask this as many times as you want. Um, what is my deepest heart's desire? You ask that over and over and over again, because sometimes we feel that we are not yet at the right place. We are not doing the right thing that we feel passionate about. And that's okay. That's fine. We have the whole life to do it, to discover. The sooner the better, of course. So keep asking, what is my deepest heart's desire? By asking that constantly, you create the picture in your mind. And if you focus on it, before you know it, you are taking small steps towards that
The
goal,
goal.
that picture. So whoever want to start it, good luck.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Very, very, very profound. Yes, I can definitely use that. So another great session. I appreciate you both so much. Thank you so much for being a wonderful co-host, Selena. You're excellent at this. And Hishaam, it was more than I was hoping for. I hope other Muslims and people in general are inspired by this and understand that that this recovery system that can be worded in so many different ways can really help transform your life, no matter what your belief system is. So thank you, everyone, and let's do this again soon.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And before I forget, I was thinking, we had a beautiful episodes behind. I would love to suggest if maybe it's possible to call on like Hisham next time, and there are many previous episodes. Maybe we can do that. I miss them. I miss their energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Maybe we can bring people back and have like a big pool of guests sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you should.
It's just
That sounds interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
everyone's views.
Great. Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
idea. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. You're really doing a great job. Keep gathering us here. Thank you so much. And enjoy your Sunday.
Right.
Hisham,
Yep.
thank you so
You
much.
guys too.
And see you again.
It was a pleasure being here. Thank you so much for giving me the
Likewise.
opportunity.
Same.
Right,
Great.
guys.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.
Wa alaikum salam.